All right, so I just finished watching the latest episode of Mr. Robot of the second season just a few minutes ago. I streamed it live on USA.com or USANetwork.com or whatever. Um, so if you've seen the episode, then you already know. All right, there's going to be spoilers, heads up. But if you've seen this episode, then you already know what we're going to talk about right off the bat. Was that insane first 15, 20 minutes or so, where they went completely back to like the late 80s, early 90s sitcom style, where he's having like I guess like a hallucination, it's in his head, whatever you want to call it, but he's on like a road trip with his whole family, and he hears the laugh track. It was so surreal, and even the commercials being retro and in the 3x4, 4x3 format, it was really cool and it was really interesting, and I really liked how they did that, and I'm really glad that they did it for the amount of time that they did, because I was worried that the entire episode was going to be like that and that it was going to lose its impact. Um, and I thought they did a really awesome job at making it actually feel and look and sound like a sitcom from like the early 90s, but with all the real life things that are crazy in the show that you would never see in a sitcom like that. And they even had Alf, and I know I'm going all over the place here, but that blew my mind. I was like, "Are you really? How did they get Alf in here? That's awesome." And then later when he wakes up, you see that Alf's on the TV. So I like how they kind of connected it there. That it wasn't completely random. They kind of explained why that was going on in his head. But yeah, overall, it was a great episode. Not as good as last week's, I don't think. And I was just on Twitter, and people are losing their mind about the whole sitcom, feel to the first 15 minutes. And I get it. I really like that part. I really like the way they wound up at the hospital, and then when they saw Angela in the gas station, and she kind of they kind of explain everything like, oh well, it almost makes up for them killing my mom, and it was a very good juxtaposition, and I think I'm using that word right, where you've got this wholesome 90s sitcom that normally would be, goofy antics and very cheesy, but you've got this super gritty real world twist to it, and it really highlights how insane this show is, and then also how real life is, and so many topics that a goofy sitcom like Alf would never broach those topics. And the fact that they're just one after the other, with the mom putting a cigarette out on her daughter's arm, like things like that are real. Those are real things that happen, not sitcoms. So to see them put in this goofy sitcom style, it was really trippy. So that was really cool, and I like the way they did that. But I gotta be honest, that was not my favorite part of the episode. My favorite part was seeing Angela hack into the FBI, because that not only was that super like there was so much anxiety and so much suspense built up into that from the time she left the house or whatever till that last shot, and then you're like, oh, it's a cliffhanger. You're like, what's going on? Like, how is she gonna get out of this? Like, how? But you think she will, but you don't know because it's Mr. Robot. It's crazy. How is she going to get out of this? And why does that lady suspect her? Is it because of what they have on her already? Is she already on the radar? What is going on? Really curious about that. And we got to talk about that other thing that happened when she was leaving the house, and she caught up with she ran into what's his name, the white Chinese speaking hacker guy. And I know a lot of people, at least online, were like, I don't understand, who is that? But you got to remember that that's the guy that gave them the CD that they put into AllSafe that started this whole mess. So you got to remember that, and that's why it was all awkward and tense between them. But yeah, that was really cool. It was cool of her to recognize, like, hey, I just got to play my part. I can't be starting drama right now. We are where we are, and this has got to go forward. Yeah, and then everything with Elliot, dude, that I did not see, what's his name with the afro, the guy who like runs the site. I did not see him being this devious when we first were introduced to him at the beginning of this season. I thought he was going to be kind of like a good guy. He is not a good guy, dude. They are messing Elliot up. So yeah, so it's taking some weird turns, but overall I really like it. So yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if there's anything I missed. I'm sure there is. I'm kind of just running through this off the top of my head, trying to remember everything that happened. But yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would, click like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought about this episode. I know people on Twitter were going absolutely insane, saying it was the best episode ever. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was definitely a good episode. So let's call it what it is. Great episode, solid episode. Not my personal favorite, but I get it if it's yours. It was very entertaining, and that first opening act, or whatever you want to call it, and what really sold it to me was the commercials. Even though it really didn't have anything to do with the story, just seeing the retro commercials was really cool. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.